applause for that.
Perfect. So, like a lot of you, we've done something sort of similar. Our big thing, though, was looking at it more from like a revenue stream side, and the idea is that if you can save people time, both lawyers and customers, you end up saving both of them money, and that's good. So basically, we're going to do like a level 1, which will be a free, customized, basically legal report. That will be informational, and it'll be fairly basic, but there'll be a number of questions that the person has to answer, and this will sort of triage them at the same time. And they'll get this free report, and all they'll have to give is their email address. From this free report, we'll offer a more in-depth report as a follow-up that will take the information they already gave us and come up with new questions, and then develop a further, more in-depth report that they will have to pay for. And so, at the first stage, it's essentially a teaser. So we're going to show them what cost savings they can anticipate by following the process, what the sort of likely outcomes are for their specific situation, and that will be generated automatically. There's going to be no one actually doing that, but it will come out in a format that they can print, and it'll be a page or two long, and just give them a sort of overview of the area. Then if they want, they'll be able to go to the second stage, and because we have their email address, we'll be able to follow up with them in the future, even if they don't take our advice. And then at the third stage, once they pay for the more in-depth report, they'll get like an actual range of outcomes they can expect, sort of people that they might want to talk to, so referrals. They'll gain access to the relevant education. So in some ways what we're doing is trying to summarize as much information as we can with as little as we can at the very beginning, and then do that process a couple of times. And by doing that a couple of times, ultimately you end up with a report that might be 10 to 20 pages long, but it'll be standardized. And so the customer will be able to take that, and if they decide they have to go see a lawyer, they'll have that report and they'll have answers to a lot of typical questions. And we'll also offer, on top of the referral side, is hopefully we'll be able to make that report available to legal practitioners as well. So when they have a client coming in, they already have a heads up and they don't have to go through all the basic intake questions. They can actually focus on the relevant material. And there's also a number of ways that we can sort of spin it off. If the person owns a home and they're in a scenario where they're going to get divorced, it might be useful for them to know of a real estate agent in the neighborhood who's got a good recommendation. If they have, they're a high net worth individual, they might want to know a tax lawyer or a financial planner. And so that report can contain not only the steps and a checklist for them to follow, but it can also contain links and referrals to people who are actually specifically targeted for their group. And so basically, even if we're saving 2 or 3 hours at the beginning of the process by having this standardized form and having people aware of the issues, it's not going to cost them nearly as much to get the report. And so it'll be a nominal fee, and then they'll just have a better heads up going forward, I guess. I think that's it.
Great.